Hi everybody, this is my post about role socialization. I just wanted to give you guys a little update on Dominic. He's gotten so much bigger. So say hi. Okay, that was it. So this post is about role socialization, and I just wanted to give you guys an example of the role socialization I had as a new graduate nurse, and then as a nurse coming in with a little bit of experience to a new unit. So I didn't quite understand what role socialization it was. There was a lot of references to it, and it seems still, even after a little bit of research, that it's still kind of a vague concept. I'm sure if I had time to read books about it, it wouldn't be as vague. But Dinmohammadi and Peyrovi and Mehrdad 2013 did an article about role socialization, and they described it as the process during which people learn the roles, statuses, and values necessary for participation in a social institutions. They also described it as a process. It's a non-linear process. They said it was interactive, it required learning, it required development, and it required some adaptation. And I think the adaptation is really where I'll kind of focus on my second experience. So my first experience as a new graduate nurse in Texas, my role socialization, I was paired primarily with a preceptor. We also had a lot of learning that like classroom learning still. But my preceptor was known as the tough as nails chick. The guys didn't even want to be paired with her. She just had a reputation throughout the hospital as being really, really rough. However, that being said, she did things right all the time. She just didn't do things wrong. She did things by the book, and she was a caring nurse. She was tough as nails. She made me cry. But I appreciated having her. I actually think she was a good pair for me because I learned how to do things right. And I think if I would have been paired with some other people, they would have taught me shortcuts and things that we develop on our own anyway. And so I was really appreciative to have her. It also helped me out in the process in a social respect, because if I could handle being with Janita, then I was doing well as a nurse. And if she didn't chew me up, then it kind of gave me a little bit of a leg to stand on, I guess I will say. One thing the Dinmohammadi said was it's about learning the ropes, and I thought that was a really interesting way to put it for role socialization. She definitely taught me the ropes. I knew how to deal with the doctors. I knew how to do the clinical skills that were necessary. I felt really competent when I was socialized into my role, and that was coming as from new grad, and I thought that was pretty cool. There was a bit of faking it till you make it, which I brought up in another post, where, especially when people ask you, how long have you been a nurse? Luckily, I'm a little bit on the older side, and so I didn't get that question as much as other people did, but I just felt really comfortable with her. In my second experience, when I moved back to California, I came here. I had a little bit of experience, but I had experience at a level 1 trauma with in the CTICU. I had a decent amount of ECMO experience at that point, which I think one other nurse in our unit had. So I had a little bit of a leg to stand on, but there was also a little bit of headbutting. Where I came from at my first place was definitely a place based on evidence-based practice, whereas the place I'm currently at, not so much evidence, more this is how we've always done it kind of practice. And so there was a lot of headbutting with me. I was paired with another nurse who coincidentally, or maybe it was intentional, had come from a CTICU, and she was also another nurse that did things very right, but rather than being tough as nails, she was kind of the mother of the unit. She always brought in cookies and candy for people and whatnot. And so she gave me a little bit more room to do my own thing. But one thing I didn't get so much with her was the adaptation. And so I had somebody else who was a nurse that said I needed to smile more. And I said, well, but with all due respect, I'm trying to learn how to do things and do them right at our facility. And she said, well, it's only going to be your friends that come and help you out in a code. And I went home and I cried. However, what I realized in retrospect is she wasn't trying to be a horrible person. This was not the nice nurse. This was another nurse that filled in for her for one day. She wasn't trying to be a horrible person. She was trying to tell me it was a very social unit. And in retrospect, I probably should have tried a little bit more to make friends. I probably could have been more confident. And so there was an adaptation that had to occur there. And that happens throughout, as Dinmohammadi, I'm saying the name completely incorrect, notes. This is kind of an ongoing, continuous thing throughout your career. And I think that I'm finding that with nursing in particular. So that's my socialization process. In retrospect, things people could have done better. I don't know. I kind of think I was paired well with people who taught me the processes correctly for me each time. I do think that maybe a little, I wish my current place was more evidence-based practice. But I think other than that, really the only thing that people could have done for me here is just having more evidence behind their practice and showing me articles and whatnot. But I do think that if I wasn't with a motherly type of person who, bear in mind, she actually isn't, the girl that said that to me, and the mean girls were really mean to her, considering she was a really nice person. So I think what maybe would have helped me out a little bit more was somebody who was able to stand up to the unit better. And that was more of an adaptation kind of thing. But otherwise, I was really happy with my socialization process at both places. That's it for me. Thanks. Bye.